Hey y'all, it's Loco Lobo, otherwise known as Noah, back here with a different kind of video, but one that I thought I might as well go ahead and make. This one's going to be involving one of my favorite, pastimes to kind of calm down with stuff and outline my feelings, and that is writing. I've always been a fan of the written word, and I found such intrigue in it. So I thought I might as well go ahead and read off some writing I made that was kind of a tribute to someone whose work was so near and dear in my heart, and just go ahead and read it off because I think it's important we pay tribute to the legacies that some of these people have left us, and the entertainment and the stories and lessons that they have given us through their work. And in this case, I'm talking about someone we lost not too long ago, and someone who, like I said, his work was very important and near and dear in my life, and kind of helped me and guided me through a lot of my life, and taught me a lot of personal life lessons as well. Of course, in this case, I'm talking about Stan the Manly. And I just thought I wrote this like a night after the news to kind of like vent out how I felt Stan's work was so important. So I just went ahead and did that, and I just hope it's of a good enough par and level what I wrote. Because like I said, I enjoy writing, but I'm not sure if I'm the best at it. But I hope this is a good enough piece of work to honor the work he's left behind and the work he has inspired, and how that work has inspired so many of us as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it off, I guess. Let me pull it up real quick. It's just a little writing, Okay. I originally didn't have plans to make a video of this, but I feel like it's important we pay tribute to the legacy that Stan has left behind and look back on its importance. Sometimes we see people and wish them to be immortal, but in a way, Stan was just that. The legacy he has left is immortal, and through that, in a way, he will always live on within us and within our hearts. We lost a truly bright light and great man that day, but may we never lose his lessons. Comics have always been one of my greatest escapes when I find myself in a hole. And as a child, I learned from this man, to be a hero, you don't need powers. You need heart. I learned that heroes can be scared, scarred, sad, broken, lost, and even imperfect at times, just like us. And I feel as though this is what makes Stan such a wonderful inspiration to so many of us. And I wish his family and friends peace in this time. And I wish the utmost condolences. I can only hope this tribute pays him proper respect. Stanley wasn't just a man who created heroes. He was one himself. Because a true hero shows others they can be one as well. They are monuments of hope, standing with us through all time. These heroes put on a page are a reflection of ourselves and the world that surrounds us. Stan taught us that heroes can be of any creed, of any color, or any gender or identity, and that they can come from any background, and that we are all heroes in our own way, and that we should never lose sight of that. At the end of the day, we can all be heroes, and it doesn't matter who wears the mask. What matters is the spirit they carry and the heart they hold. We can all wear the mask, because he taught us the greatest heroism comes in empathy and humanity. And through it all, one guy can really make a difference. Now imagine a world where we all work together to make that difference. Life is incredibly vast, and it's heroic to simply live in the moment with love and compassion. The reason why Stan's work resonated so strongly with me, as well as countless others, is because heroes were allowed to be human. I looked and I saw heroes that were human, truly human. I saw heroes who had flaws, heroes who fell down, and heroes plagued by past and personal demons. But each time I saw them, they got back up and they moved forward again. And I knew that I was just as capable as them because I was just as much as a hero and a human as them. We are all heroes, and we must stand beside one another, seeing not just another stranger, but a brother or a sister. Many might wonder what it means to be a hero, but in the end, I think it's just a leap of faith. All that I have left to say is, thank you, Stan. Thank you for everything. But most of all, thank you for showing us that hero rests within all of us. And to conclude, I say, Excelsior. And it's nice knowing that heaven has one more hero up there now. Thank you, Stan, for everything. And I hope many other children get to grow up with that legacy and the lessons that he left behind. And I hope that that can rest in their hearts like it has with me and so many others. Thank you.
But I think maybe I'm proudest of the fact that I meet so many people who say to me, gee, Stan, I've been reading your things since I was very young.
I'm Stan Lee. I've been writing stories for the young generation for the past 30 years. During this time, I think I've learned a lot about what young people think. More importantly, I think I've learned a lot about what young people are. We're going to try to present a voice that somebody will listen to. The voice is needed. We hope it will be out.
American mythology, because stories are really what stay with us.
Those characters that he created when he infused Marvel, the brand, with, have always shown through.
Even if they have superpower, they have to be believable. What they do has to be what any normal person would do in those situations.
And the idea that he championed all kinds of different voices, all kinds of points of view, and the concept of diversity and equality and conversations about, social politics, all these things he had been doing for years, and now it's at the forefront of everything that we talk about.
Woody has made more of an impact on comics than Stan.
But so many people walk up and say, I just want to thank you for all the enjoyment you've brought. And that's made me think of something else. Years ago, when I was writing all these comics, I always felt I was really wasting time. And it's only been lately, the past 10 years or so, that I've started realizing to most people, and then I realized it applies to me too. To most people, the most important thing is being entertained, getting pleasure out of something. Think of them with such love and kindness, and I wish I could see them again, and they're important to me.
I want to say thank you. You saved my life. Because the life that I have today, there's a direct line to that first comic book.
How to treat people equally, and that's a really powerful impact. To lean into the light as much as you can, even if there's darkness.
Just because a person has a superpower doesn't mean he might not have the same personal problems that you or I might have.
three-dimensional superhero who lives and breathes and worries and experiences things just the way you and I do.
Maybe what I'm doing isn't really unimportant. Maybe entertainment is one of the most important things, because there are so many bad things in the world that if you can entertain somebody for a while, it's a good thing. So I think I'm proudest of the fact that maybe some of the things I've done have entertained people. And whether that's Spider-Man or Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, or the Thing yelling clobbering time, whatever it is, I'm happy that some people have enjoyed it.
For so long, I've thought that I never got any breaks. But now, after all I've been through, for once, I like my life. I like myself. And for the first time ever, I wouldn't want to change anything about me.
Gee, you're definitely not the same guy I've been writing about all these years.
Well, Stan, we all have to grow up sometime, I suppose. Even us characters of fiction.
If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. If there is something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done, and if you can take pride in it after you've done it, no matter what it is. Say, I did that, and I think it's pretty damn good. That's a great feeling.
You can't know the audience as well as you know yourself. Use your imagination. Don't be afraid to come up with the wildest thought in the world. If what you create is truly different and colorful, and if it's written well, people will enjoy it. Actually, I'm doing what I enjoy doing.
So you've been around for so
Forever.
long. Not forever. So what's the secret to a long life?
I have no idea. To me, it's still been a short life. I hope it goes on a lot longer. But I think being interested in what you're doing.
We got, again, the fans love your sense of humor, and it's.
Well, it's an equal love fest, because I love my fans. I cannot tell you how much I love my fans. They, sometimes at night I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's it all about, And then I get a letter from a fan, or I read something, or I see something, or I remember something, and I realize it's so lucky to have fans who really care about you. And that's the reason I care so much about the fans. And there's something, if you think about it, that is wonderful about somebody caring about you as I care about them, whom you've never met, who may live in another part of the world, but they care, and you have something in common, and occasionally you contact each other. And this business of fans, I think, is terrific, and I love them all.
Stan Lee, the legendary writer, editor, and publisher of Marvel Comics, has died. He was 95 years old, and Yelena Adzik is here with his story. So we're just learning about this afternoon. What more do we know?
Yeah, it's difficult to sum up the life and the legacy of a legend like Stan Lee.
He did so much for this industry. He all but helped create it.
Now his story has come to a close at the age of 95.
It's the passing of an icon.
I didn't want to believe it at first. It was too sudden. It was just the other day where we're talking about him in all these movies and thinking that he's doing well and everything, and then just suddenly gone from us.
Now, he was 95 years old.
Was 95, but to us, he's a superhero. He could live as long as he wanted to.
Incredibly sad. Like, he's kind of one who taught me how to read a little bit, It's like one of the greatest of all time. He's the father of comic books. He's the father of comic books.
Pretty upset, pretty devastated. Although, pretty excited with everything that he's come out, in his lifetime. I think it's pretty awesome, and looking forward to what's to come.
Shock. I think shock was the biggest reaction that a lot of us felt.
He's the man who created the characters that we know and love.
He is and was the sweetest guy ever.
He was relatable because people could talk to him, and he talked to just about anyone who came up. It served as a lot of motivation for people who are in the military today, working everyday lives, those who are policemen, firefighters, or those who are standing up to oppression. I think it's really important what he did.
He taught us all, no matter what, you can be a hero.
Stan Lee wanted his characters to be relatable.
If someone thinks that you're not as worth as much as someone else because of your color, your religion, your sexual preference, he showed that that was wrong.
Clark says if you met Lee, talk about it. If you had something signed, hold on to it, because that's something you can never get again.
Stan was a hell of a guy. Excelsior.
They can be broke, they can be destroyed, they can be broken. But at the same time, it's what he does with that brokenness and overcoming the obstacles that these characters have to basically rise out of their desperate situations and become a hero and continue to save the world and continue to help others and carry on through inspiring so many people as well too with those acts of heroism.
Stan Lee was everything. He's a legacy. He's like Michael Jackson, It's incredible. And I feel so sad now. My friend called me today morning crying, and it's terrible. That's it.
That's for you, Stan Lee. That's for you, baby. You always will live in this heart forever.
There's much to consider when it comes to the legacy of Stan Lee, but many fans hope that future generations truly realize his impact on both pop culture and history itself.
I hope that people will get out and read his comics, because they're amazing and part of history.
Now, millions of fans are holding on to characters they feel they know so well, and they have one message for the man behind it all.
Thank you. And it's been great reading his stories.
I definitely say thank you for all your work, and I want to shake your hand.
Excelsior.
Tom Rader, 69 News.
I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
They're the greatest stories ever told. Heroes show us we don't need to be perfect to do what's right.
It's not about living without fear, but facing injustice. It's not about being powerful, but finding your calling when you least expect it. They show us it's okay to be vulnerable, no matter how tough you are. Because even though they're heroes, they're still human.